Hare Krishna. Welcome back to the Bhagavad Gita series of discussion. Today we shall be discussing the 9th verse from the first chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Chalakaya Chakshurunmritam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shrivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So the 9th verse of the first chapter says, Annecha Bahavashura Madarte Tyakta Jivita Dana Shastra Praharnana Sarve Yuddha Visharada. So, in this verse, translation is, there are many other heroes who are prepared to lay down their lives for my sake. All of them are well equipped with different kinds of weapons, and all are experienced in military science. So, after describing the warriors on the Pandava side and describing the warriors on his own side, Duryodhana is now concluding here. See, there are many others. Mainly he's referring to the prime and important warriors from his own side. When he says, Annecha Bahava, there are many others. Srila Prabhupada actually explained there are many others like Jayadratha, Kritavarma, and Shalya, and also many others were there on the side of Duryodhana. So, 3 warriors were primarily mentioned. Jayadratha. Jayadratha was the king of Sindhu Desh. Sindhu Desh is the modern day Pakistan. That's the Indus Valley. So it was ruled 5,000 years ago during the time of Mahabharata war. It was ruled by a king named Jayadratha. So this king Jayadratha, he was brother-in-law of Duryodhana. Duryodhana's sister, Dushala, she was married to Jayadratha. So Jayadratha, he was actually a great warrior. He was also the disciple of Dronacharya. At one point of time, he actually asked Dronacharya, my dear Gurudev, why is it that you consider Arjuna as the best of your disciples? So, because he was also one of the disciples of Dronacharya. At another occasion, Jayadratha had tried to kidnap the wife of Pandavas, Draupadi, when they were in exile. That time, Arjun and Bhim, they specially arrested him and brought him to Yudhishthira Maharaj. And Yudhishthira Maharaj, ordered him to be punished by shaving off his head. So, Bhima actually shaved off his head, which was considered a great insult for Kshatriyas. So Jayadratha had taken a vow that he would, kill the Pandavas. So he tried to perform tapasya and he pleased Lord Shiva with the intention that he wanted to defeat Pandavas in the battlefield. So Lord Shiva said, since you have performed tapasya, I give you benediction that you will be able to conquer 4 of the 5 Pandavas. Except Arjun, you can conquer everyone else. Only for one day on the battlefield. So it was on the day when Dronacharya had arranged Chakravyuh. When Abhimanyu, the son of Arjun, was told to go forward, and Yudhishthira Maharaj confirmed that he will follow behind with all the other Pandavas to break the Chakravyuh. That day, Jayadratha had stopped all the 4 Pandavas. So Yudhishthira, Bhim, Nakul, Sahadev all fought together because Arjun was dragged to some other side of the battlefield. But these four together could not conquer Jayadratha. Jayadratha, utilizing the benediction of Lord Mahadev, he stopped all the four Pandavas except Arjun. But later on he was killed. After Abhimanyu was killed, Arjun took the vow that he will kill Jayadratha before the sunset of the next day. And he was killed. With the help of Krishna, Jayadratha was killed by Arjun. Then Kritavarma. Kritavarma, he was the great warrior of Andhaka clan. He was the same family of Krishna. So Krishna had promised that he will give his Narayani Sena to the Kauravas to fight. So unlike Satyaki had disagreed to fight on the side of Kauravas. He decided to go on the side of Arjun, his guru, and also on the side of Krishna, because Krishna was on the side of Pandavas. So he did not express his loyalty to the army of Krishna, Narayani Sena, but he wanted to be loyal to Krishna and the Pandavas. So therefore he fought on the side of Pandavas. But Kritavarma, he is also a great devotee of Krishna, but he had his loyalty to the army. So since Krishna had promised his army to be fighting on the side of Kauravas, he decided to fight on the side of Kauravas. It is mentioned that Kritavarma had actually not even opposed. He was one of the 7 warriors, who had killed together Abhimanyu. And he did not even oppose Ashwathama when Ashwathama had planned to kill the Pandavas when they were sleeping. So he loyally, played his role to be fighting on the side of Kauravas. One of the duty of the warrior is to be loyal. So he was loyal to the army chief, Duryodhan, of the Kaurava side. And he was one of the few warriors on the Kaurava side who survived after the battle of Kurukshetra was over. And the next one is Shalya. Shalya was actually the maternal uncle of Nakul and Sahadev. He was brother of Madri, the second wife of Maharaj Pandu. Maharaj Pandu had 2 wives, Kunti and Madri. Madri was the mother of Nakul and Sahadev, and Kunti was mother of Yudhishthir, Bhim and Arjun. So Madri's brother was the king of Madradesh, whose name was Shalya. So Shalya was very affectionate to his nephews, namely Nakul and Sahadev. When he heard about the battle of Kurukshetra is being arranged, he came with his entire army to support Yudhishthira Maharaj. But on the way, Duryodhan tricked him. He had made beautiful arrangement of the camps and hospitality for not only the king of Madra, that is Shalya, but for his entire army. And Shalya, he thought that this was being arranged by Yudhishthira Maharaj. So he expressed the desire that he wanted to meet Yudhishthira, who had arranged all his hospitality. That time, the servants, they actually informed him that this was arranged by Duryodhan. So, when Kshatriya means they are generally obliged. So Shalya, he expressed his obligation to Duryodhan. He said, you can ask any boon from me. And Duryodhan said, please, you become the chariot driver of our side. You become chariot driver for especially Karna. So Shalya was obliged to. Then he went and informed the Yudhishthira Maharaj and Nakul and Sahadev. Nakul and Sahadev were very angry with him that you have proved us to be like the step brothers for the Pandavas by taking the side of Duryodhan. And Yudhishthira Maharaj intervened and he chastised Nakul and Sahadev, saying that never ever speak such a thing. So Shalya understood that how much love Yudhishthira and all the Pandavas had with each other. But nevertheless, as the obligation of Kshatriya, he took the side of Kauravas. And on the battlefield, he was a source of great discouragement, especially for Karna. He was the chariot driver for Karna, and he constantly compared the strength of Karna with Arjuna, deriding Karna's strength. So much so that towards the end, on the 17th day of the battle, when Karna was, having a special arrow, and he was having serpentine arrow for Arjun to kill Arjun. That time, Shalya, he actually gave a genuine advice to Karna. He said, do not aim the head of Arjun. Aim his chest and you will be successful. But Karna thought that because Shalya was always deriding him, this was not a genuine advice. He was just trying to make fun of him. So he anyway decided to shoot Arjun on the head so that Arjun's head should be chopped off. And that was the time when Krishna very expertly made the horses sit down and the chariot actually bent down. And the arrow went, taking the toll of only Arjun's crown rather than his head. And of course, Karna realized his mistake. And of course, after that, Arjun killed Karna. And on the 18th day, Shalya actually became the commander-in-chief after Karna was dead. Duryodhana made him as the commander-in-chief. And he was killed by Yudhishthira Maharaj. Because no one on the side of Pandavas had such calm demeanor as Shalya. Shalya was very calm and well composed on the battlefield. He couldn't be agitated so easily. So the only match for him was Yudhishthira Maharaj, who could also be not agitated very easily on the battlefield. So in this way, these great warriors are being described. And then the final line, which is very important, it says, Mad Arthe Tyakta Jivita. Duryodhana is saying, all these great warriors have come to lay down their lives for my sake. Now this is very significant. Mad Arthe Tyakta Jivita. Tyakta means to give up and Jivita means life. So in one way, Mother Saraswati is inspiring Duryodhana to speak this sentence. Because whenever a person speaks some sentence, it is to be understood. Mother Saraswati inspires him. So Krishna also confirmed later on in the later chapters of Bhagavad Gita. Krishna told Arjuna, Mai eva ete nihitan. All these soldiers on the side of Duryodhana, they are all already killed by me before only. So they were actually killed. So in one way, Mother Saraswati is speaking through the Duryodhana that all these warriors will be killed. Duryodhana could have spoken that all these warriors have come to lead me to victory. But no, he said, all of them, they have come to lay down their life for my sake. So in this way, Mother Saraswati was communicating that they will all be dead on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. So this is the sum and substance of this 9th verse. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.